Thank you everyone for joining us, especially those of you who are here for the first time. The Excel Toronto Meetup group, we run sessions every month. Most of the months now we are running 2 sessions, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. But the session is being recorded, so be mindful of that. Today, exceptionally, I'll be both the host and the presenter. Usually I have a guest presenting from somewhere in the world, an Excel expert or someone, a trainer, someone who has something to share with us that we all can benefit from. All these sessions are for free. The recording will be available in a couple of days. I will upload it to our YouTube channel, and everyone who registered, who RSVP yes to the session, will receive an email in a couple of days with a link, with the exercise files and all that. I already mentioned that we are recording and uploading to our YouTube channel. Feel free to subscribe. My name is Celia Alves. I am a business analyst and advocate at Sheetcast, who happens to also be our sponsor. And today we will be speaking about that product, Sheetcast, and how we can create web applications using this add-in. I've been a trainer, a speaker. I have a YouTube channel. I've been awarded as a Microsoft MVP for a couple of years already, and founded this group in 2019. It's been a long journey. Thank you for joining us today. We are here to continue sharing knowledge in these times where knowledge does not seem to be enough. Things are changing so fast all the time. Aurora, would you like to say hello? Aurora is joining us as well as a co-host.
Hello, I'm Aurora. I'm a freelance consultant based in Toronto. I am providing data analytics solutions, usually with Microsoft products, and I'm a big fan of Excel. Today, I am very happy to co-host this meet, and let's learn together and see what Celia has in store for us.
Thank you. Thank you. Anthony, Licinia, Phil, and Valeria, shout out for them as well. They are our volunteers. They help with some admin tasks in our YouTube channel. And as I mentioned before, Sheetcast is our lead sponsor. We are delivering training, free workshops. If you are at the end of the session, if you feel that you want to learn more about Sheetcast, because I will not be able to teach everything today, it's impossible. There's a lot that you can do with it. Feel free to scan that code there, check the workshops. We are running workshops every month. We start with the fundamentals and everybody who wants to attend our workshops needs to start with the fundamentals workshop, and then we have a couple of different topics for the advanced workshops, and you can attend them in the order that you please. And shout out to our sponsors besides Sheetcast. Solvent Excel Consulting is my business. MrExcel.com, who offers 20% discount on all digital books. I'll talk about that in a minute. And Women in Excel, run by Grania Duggan, a group for women on LinkedIn. Our next events, feel free to register. We have Tanya McIlravy on October 8th, talking about sales styles and office teams and all the several things related to the design of a spreadsheet, designing for data quality. This is part of our series, essential series. These sessions are shorter, just 1 hour in total, and then we have a longer session, part of our expanded series on October 29th about Excel puzzles and how solving different types of puzzles with Excel can make us learn different techniques that then we can apply to our jobs, and we will have Agnieszka Nika talking about that topic. So feel free to register. These will be very good sessions, I'm sure. I always talk about different discounts and things that I get together to make available to the members of the group. And I created this app. It's in fact an application created with Sheetcast. If you scan that, or if you click the link that I put in the chat just at the beginning, if you don't mind, Aurora, to repeat the link in case someone joined us after I put it there. On that, let me see if I can find it. How can I get my browser here somewhere? Okay.
I posted the link.
Yeah, but I wanted to just share a couple of things. Okay, here it is. So it should work also on a mobile phone. If you end up seeing it, something not working well on a phone, or just let me know, I can tweak it. This is something we can create out of Excel. So this is an Excel file, and then the pages, and we could maybe make them a little bit bigger. These effects of showing this data, so I have a table and each row is classified between Excel tools, training, books, events, and events there, and also learning resources. This is all in one Excel table. And then we can define a design for one item. And instead of showing rows of data, I can show the data in cards like we are seeing them here. So that's one thing that we can do. If we have time, I'll explain how we can do these cards in one of the examples I brought for today. About all these perks that we have here, I want to call your attention to the Global Excel Summit that will happen in May in London, UK. They are currently running the sale for early bird tickets, so 30% discount if I'm not mistaken. If you want to get the ticket now and apply code Celia10, you will get 10% on top of that. So something to consider. And just be mindful, because those are just in limit, those tickets are in a limited quantity. And also books, make sure you check out Mr. Excel's bookstore. We have 20% off if you use this code with in the store to get any book, any PDF book. And you will get this link, you have this link, and you will get an email with all this information, different resources that you can use. Okay, so I think we are good to go. I have a couple of things here. Yeah, so we are ready to start. Let me switch. So today I'm going to work from two different machines. I'm going to turn off maybe my camera from here and go to the other camera there, to the other machine there, from the Sheetcast environment there. Okay, if I know how to.
Celia?
Sure.
Would you like us to interrupt you with questions, or should we leave it for at the end of the presentation?
Feel free to interrupt anytime. Okay. Yeah, and feel free to turn on your cameras as well if you'd like. That helps with keeping me company. I like to see people's faces. I used to ask people to turn off. I used to ask people to turn off their videos to help with the internet speed. It has not been a problem. If it becomes a problem, then we can turn off our videos. But I do encourage you to leave your cameras on if you are comfortable with that. Okay, so what is this Sheetcast thing? Let me share my screen here. Oh, I need to make myself a presenter. Just a second. Just a second there. People. And there. Because otherwise I cannot share. Make a presenter. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I should be able to share my screen here. What I'm going to do is to go through a couple of examples. Let me know anytime if I'm messing up things because I'm dealing too many machines here. If I'm messing up things, just let me know. So you see my browser?
Yes, right now we see your browser.
With Teams, right?
With Teams, yes.
Okay, so what is Sheetcast? What it is not a way of, it is not a spreadsheet online. It's not a spreadsheet program. It's not a way of seeing our workbook on the web exactly as if we were seeing it with Excel Online or Excel for the web, or which is the same thing, or Google Chrome, Google Sheets, I mean. So it's, we will not, when we say that we transform our workbook into a web app, it's not about showing the spreadsheets, the same thing we have on the workbook, and seeing them side by side and seeing all the cells and seeing the ribbon, the Excel ribbon. It's
only seeing the blue screen. Blue screen.
You see a blue screen?
Yes,
that's it.
Yes,
just blue screen.
Are we supposed to see Excel or?
We were supposed to see my PowerPoint. We saw the PowerPoint presentation before, didn't we not,
yes.
Aurora, when we were testing?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's try again.
Yeah, let
Maybe
me try.
Reshare.
Let me try stop sharing, and thank you for letting me know. Let me try stop sharing and sharing again. Oh, I know what I did. I shared the window instead of sharing a monitor. I think that's probably what I did. Let's hope this now works. So you are seeing my browser with Teams, and what about now?
Yes,
do you see my
presentation.
PowerPoint? Great. That's what we want to see.
Thank you for everybody.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah. So I was saying Sheetcast is not a way of seeing a workbook as we see it in Excel on the web. And you already saw an example. The app that we just saw with the Excel, the perks for the Excel Toronto Meetup group, does not look like a spreadsheet at all, does it? It has these cards and has different tabs where we can see different cards. So it looks like a website, a web application, but it was created from within Excel. That's what Sheetcast is. It's a way of developing web applications using Excel as the programming language. So how do I get Excel, or better said, Sheetcast? You will get all this information later, so you can go to sheetcast.com, and you need to create an account. Then from there you can download and install the add-in. I'm not going to go slow. I'm not expecting you to follow along now. Just watch and learn, and then you can, once the recording is up, if you are interested, you can. I will give you the starting files. You will get the starting files, and you can follow along with the video and try to replicate the exercises yourself on your end. There's also a video here that you can watch to see how to install. Okay, so we don't need this now. Let's move it away. Let's start with a simple application that you can interact with. So I'm going to put a link in the chat. I'm going to put a link in the chat. There. Let me move this away to there. Chat. And you can try that link. It will show you a map where, if you want to participate, feel free to do so. Feel free to add just an avatar name if you don't want to put your name exactly. What we are seeing is a Google map here, and it puts me in exactly that crossing. I'm not sure why, but what I put here, if we click on this pin, is it says One Excel Lover, Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Celia Alves, Power Query. And these are the results of my answer on this form. So if you click here, add new Excel lover, and fill in your name, country, and city, and what's your favorite Excel thing. By the way, Excel is completing 40 years on the 29th, so in a 29 or 30th, I can not sure now. So 5 or 6 days away from now. From all of that was created in Excel in these past 40 years, what is your favorite thing? It can be a function, it can be a feature. Excuse me. And then you can also put in a color. So let's see if people can, if I click here on map of Excel lovers, oh, I see that some of you have already participated. We have Canupia, Trinidad and Tobago, Lina. We have Lina there. We have Jay in New York. We have Char in Warsaw, New York, USA, who likes purple. This person likes, Jay likes green, and so on. So we can zoom in. And if two people, this is me, if we click there, we will probably see Aurora there, I'm guessing, exactly. So this is a simple application that we can create, take advantage of the map feature. And this is all built based in Excel. If I refresh, I'll probably see a couple more people there. There's someone there in the United Kingdom, Stringent there, it's in France, in fact, and someone in Australia. There we go. Thank you so much for participating. So now let's see how can we create this out of Excel. And I'm going to start with my Excel without any application. Well, let me see. In fact, I'm going to show you. Yeah, I'm going to show you step by step. So once you have Excel installed, or better said, Sheetcast installed, you will not get this step here, because this is just an extra step that we have internally at Sheetcast. But you can open Excel as you normally would. It can take a little bit of time loading, especially now that I know that they made an update recently, just a couple of hours ago. So let's hope that everything is working just fine. You can start with a blank workbook, okay? And you will get the Sheetcast button here at the top. If you don't see it could be that the sidebar is closed. You can come here and click Show Sidebar. If for some reason Show Sidebar is not enabled, you can click Modules, and then from here, make sure you have Sheetcast enabled. There are a couple of other add-ins that come with it that you can explore, but we are not going to talk about them. There are very cool tools here as well. So just make sure you have Sheetcast enabled. And from here, we are ready to use Sheetcast along with Excel. So I'm going to Show Sidebar. The first time you need to log in with your email address. I just have a special, going to log in here with this special email address for this session. Okay. So you would do the same thing, but you don't have to log in all the time. Usually, if you logged in one time, next time when you open Excel, it would recognize you. So no worries about that email there. Okay, the first time you enter Sheetcast within Excel, you get to see something like this. It's telling you you can start with creating an automatic example app. If you click here, it will create sample data for you and a couple of pages, I believe, and you can work with that. In this case, I'm just going to work with a blank sheet, or in fact, I'm going to open a file that has already some Excel work done into it. You could start from a blank workbook, but I'm going to just open our starting file. So you will have access to this file later if you want to try to build something similar just to learn how things work. So let me just open that. And this would be our Excel starting file. So there's sometimes most of the times, much more work to be done in Excel than in Sheetcast itself. So I have already some work done here. I have a table. This table is called data. I set up a couple of columns. These columns are related to the fields that you filled in the application: name, country, province, city, favorite Excel thing, favorite color. And then I have a couple more extra columns that have formulas. This one here is concatenating the 3 pieces of the address, and this column will be used when we create the map page. And then I have a few more functions here. This one is just concatenating and counting, just to let me know how many builders we have in a certain city, just in case multiple people select the same city. We will see on that pin the different users who selected that city, and the description here as well for that pin. So I'm not going to spend time explaining the Excel formulas. You could use whatever formulas and knowledge you have to create your helper columns. The important thing now is to understand how can we make this a map page. So on the side here, we have the option now, use this sheet to start building web pages. If I click that, now it's getting prepared to upload the workbook to the server. Each application is based on one unique workbook, okay? So all the data related to that application goes into the Excel workbook. We have, if you see the name of the workbook here, we have start at the end. So this is my starting file. By default, it suggests the same name for the app. I'm just going to put map of Excel lovers meetup, for example, so that I know this was created for the meetup. When I click upload, you will see that the name of the workbook will change. So you see now it has _Sheetcast at the end. We get this notification saying, congratulations, you built the first application. And we are presented with a number of options for different page types that we are going to create. The application that we saw had a map and had a form. So we will use the map page, and then we will also create a form with the insert page. And both pages will be connected to the table that we have with data, the table that I prepared. So in this case, let's start with creating the map page. We can leave it, let me see. I decided to change the order here, so that's fine. Let me just make sure that I create the map. We can create a map page, and then here for the source, I need to say, not orientation of the source. For the source, I need to say, where's my data for that page? We have different options. We could use data in a worksheet. We could use data in a certain range of cells. In this case, we have a data in our table, and it's the data table. It's the only table available in the workbook. Then we have a couple of different columns here that we can, or fields that we can match with different columns in our table. The only one that is mandatory is the column for locations. It captured column B because it's just the first column, but in fact my locations, oh, something is not working here, table, data. Let me save, because the column names for some reason are not coming up. Okay, let me try again. Column field. Now I see the column fields here. So the column field for the locations is column H with the address. That column that I have a formula concatenating everything to have the complete address. So that's the column I want to use for the locations. And then I have a couple of more things here. I can use, for example, for the titles, I can use column I that has a formula that concatenates different things to give me a title. For values, I'm not going to do anything. And if you play with it, then you can play with it. You can try what happens if I choose this column for values, and it will make certain things appear on the pop-up for that pin on the map. That's what it does. For descriptions, I'm going to choose the J column J. And for colors, I'm going to choose column G, where we selected our favorite color. So for colors, this determines the color of the pin on the map, and you can type in color names. Not all the color names will be recognized, but the most common colors will be recognized. And you can also add X codes. So just pick a column, a color code, and put in the code. It will work fine like that as well. Okay, so we mapped everything. We can click to save, or I can click this I button that will save and will jump into the web browser to show me the app. And there we go. So now I have the same thing that I showed you before. It's only showing my pin for now. It's not showing anything else. Because I just uploaded my starting file that only has one row in my data, right? Here we have the name of the page, map page, and here we have the name of the app, okay? From this moment on, or from the moment I initially uploaded the workbook, I no longer need to or should even go to my starting file on my machine. Going forward, if I want to continue to edit my application, I always come back to opening. So what I would do is, let me go back. If I go back here, I see the list of pages. If I go back, I see the list of apps. That's how the navigation goes. So I open Excel, I open the Sheetcast pane, I see this application, and I go, oh, I want to continue to work on this application. I want to add more things. So when I click here, this will download the workbook for me. It's already here now because I didn't close it. But you never go back to the original workbook. Okay, you always use what's in the server connected to your app. Okay, so we have a map page working. Now, how do I add a new pin to that, a new pin to that map? For that, I would need an insert page, a form, right? So being here on the list of pages, I can click my green button, add page, and now I get the same list of pages, and I will choose insert page. The suggested name here is form page. I will say, name this page, add Excel lover. Okay. What is my source? It's my data table. So I'm connecting this form to the same source. Anything else that I need to do here? I don't think so. Okay, same thing. Click save or click the I button. It will take us to the web, and we now have a nice form. Not as nice as the other green form that we saw before, But we do have, if we do not care much about the design, and we just want something very quick that is working for what we need, there it is. It's a form and it's working. So for example, if I put here John Smith, country, I'm going to put Canada again, just so the pins are together, province, Ontario, and I'm going to put, Ottawa. Favorite Excel thing, let's say VLOOKUP. Merge and center cells, just to hear you talking on the chat. And favorite color, let's say pink. Okay, I'm not sure why I'm putting capital, but it does not matter, pink. The other columns that had formulas, as you see, they don't even show they show in my form, but they are not editable because they have formulas, so they are calculated columns. They should not be edited by the user. Okay, when I do click save, if now I go to my map page, now I see the 2 pins and it's working. Now, if I go to my Excel file, I don't know why it switched to that page, but we will go there in a minute. If I go to that, to my Excel file, what is the burning question that you have to ask me now? I don't want to be talking by myself.
Where is John Smith?
Where is the new data that I just entered, right?
Yes, and I think this ties in with one of the questions that we have in the chat. Where is this stored, local machine or online on Sheetcast?
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to answer that question first. Where is this stored? It is stored on Sheetcast's server. If you worry about data security, you can rest assured that security is our priority. In fact, the parent company of Sheetcast is called Pleasant Solutions, and one of their products is a software for storage of passwords. And this software is used by military organizations, by governmental agencies. So we are very aware of security. And even if you have a strong scenario where, security is, the client requires all the checkups and whatnot, you can contact us and we can run all the different types of tests that are needed to be run when we create something that requires the highest level of security. So it just needs to be you need to enter in contact with us so that we can run those extra text or discuss with you what is needed. So this is stored in Sheetcast server. I started with a copy with a file that was in my machine, but from the moment I create the application, that copy no longer matters. That's not connected to my spreadsheet, to my app. What's connected to my app is on the server. When we download the file, if we type in the formula cell and then file name and point to A1, for example, this is the path that it gives us as the current path, the path for the current file. So as you can see, this file is currently located in the app data /local, whatever folder in your machine. When you close the file, it will be uploaded to the server with all the changes it has. In fact, every time you see here these upload changes, every time I make some changes because I created this formula, I'm going to delete it. It's going to say, oh, you made some changes. You need to upload the changes so that we keep a copy on the server, and then we can create the pages based on the work that you have done in Excel. So I hope this answers the question. Can the data be downloaded? Yes, I will show you later how the data can be downloaded. You can do 2 things for that. One is you can download the a copy of the Excel workbook that supports the application and have a totally independent workbook that you can save wherever you want, and you can change it how you want, and it's not affecting the application at all. And it just comes with the data that is available at that moment on the server. Or you can create an API page. So when we go here at page, there's an option for API pages. I do not cover this today, but we have a workshop covering that. And by setting an API in your application, it means that from outside your application, for example, from Excel using Power Query, you can connect to the app and import the data with Power Query into a separate worksheet. And in doing that way, every time you refresh your query, it will be bringing whatever the data that is at that moment in the app. So if people keep changing the application, changing the data, it will bring the data that is available at that time into your Excel with Power Query, if that's the tool that you are using. But you can also use Zapier or Power Automate or any other tools that use connections through APIs to integrate with your application. Let's say you create an application for timesheets to collect time entries from the staff, and then you need to bring that data into another part of another procedure, another application. You can integrate with and import that data. So we have that, and we have a couple more things related to Power Query, but I'll talk about that later if someone asks.
There's one more question.
Yeah, this can be used to share interactive dashboards. Yes and no. I mean, not in the sense if you are planning to build a dashboard with slicers, timelines, things like that. Those are not supported at the moment, unfortunately. So we can build dashboards, but the functionality is you need to do some testing and see what applies. So for example, if you have very complicated charts that use all the different techniques with charts to make something happen, they may not render well. But if you use just simple bar charts, column charts, pie charts, line charts, those will render on the web. But then the filters need to be built a little bit different than the way we usually build. Pivot tables, they work. Again, they need a little bit of a extra workaround. And we teach all that on our workshops. If you come along and with all those questions, we can help you. Or even if you contact us, we can help you with some ideas for what you need to accomplish. Anything else?
No, you answered all the questions.
Okay, so now that question, where is John Smith?
Yes.
That is not in our table. So the way it works, let me see if I can bring my visual aid here. It goes like this. We are the builders with our local machines. There's the Sheetcast server. There's the internet in general where the app will be displayed. And then there's different users with their devices. Any mobile device can access this application because it's a matter of accessing a browser. When we start with a file and we upload the file to the server to create an application, a copy is created on the server. And from that moment on, this file is no longer useful for the app. Okay. From this moment on, every time we open the application with Sheetcast to work on it in our machine, there's a communication back and forth in two ways in between our machine and the server. So what I create in my machine goes to the server, and then from the server, it displays on the web. So when I went and saw, click to view app online, I could see my app online and I could play with it and do some testing. I added a record, for example. During the time that we have our application workbook open, this opposite direction, so data from the web to server to my workbook, does not happen. So the data that I created the John Smith record that I added is not coming back to my workbook unless I close it, okay? Also, during the time that I am working on my workbook, the application is not available for users. So if you need to make changes to your application, you need to schedule appropriately to make sure you do not interfere with the workflow of whoever needs to use the application. So at this moment, users cannot use the application. If I close my workbook, the application becomes available. Users interact with the application and through the web browser. Anything that they change or add to the data comes to the server copy. And when I go back and open my workbook, again, at this point, the app is not available for them. They can only see the data, but they cannot make changes to it. But then all the data comes into my workbook. So to show this, if I close my workbook without touching anything so that I'm not forced to upload changes. So let me just close. It asks me, would you like to check in this application? I say yes. And when I do that, I still have this copy here. That's fine. The blank copy. When I do that, let me close here. Open again if needed. Okay, I need to close. Oh, there we go. Now I closed it. I was looking for that pane. It just took a little moment. So I closed my workbook, and when I come back to it, I can reopen the application, the file related to my application, and in that moment, it brings all the data that is currently on the website, on the server. So I always like to start with a blank workbook because, again, I'm not going back to my starting file, and because that file is not connected to the app anymore, and the file on the for the app needs to be called through here. So I like to open a blank workbook just not to get confused. Have the sidebar here. This is my app. Click on it, and when we click on it, it brings the data. Does not bring my John Smith. Why? That's odd. Let me try again. Not sure. Maybe I was clicking around, explaining too many things and did not save something. So let's view app online. My map page only has one pin. Okay. Let me add that person. JS, Canada, Ontario, Ottawa. I said VLOOKUP. And I said pink. And that's it. And then save. So I should see the two pins there. Okay. If I have my workbook open and if I close it, unless something was just changed on this procedure with a new version that was uploaded just before the session, which is not an optimal time, but there's always fixes that we want to bring. Yeah, I guess they changed the process. I'm not sure why. So something is not good here. It should bring my data. That does not make any sense. Let me just check something else here. One way of downloading the data, and I take the opportunity to explain, is going to app.sheetcast.com. If you click in here, apps, and you will see the list of your apps. In this case, I only have one. If you click here, you have the option to download. This will download your Excel workbook and only the Excel workbook. And you also have export as an archive. And if you click here, it will create a file that you can upload as a copy of your app. If you want to make some tests on your app, or if you created something for a client and now you want to replicate that application to provide the same application to the same app to another client, the data should be kept separately, so separate files. That's the file you will need, and I will show you later how you can import. I'm just going to verify here if this is not coming with my data. And if it's not coming, which is the case, I do apologize. This is not how it should be working. I'm not sure why it's not saving, but it will be fixed. So after the call, I'll be submitting a ticket to say, what have you done there? Please fix it. Okay, so let's just see how we can build the other functionality of our application. And you saw on the demo that the application can be working with adding more records. This is just a glitch for the moment being. Okay, so if you remember, I don't know if I still have it here. Yeah. If you remember, when we click the button, first we have a button. Where is this button coming from? Also, this is not going well today. Okay.
The demo gods are not with us.
No, they are not.
Maybe you can answer a question quickly.
Just a second.
Yes.
I was going to say, if you remember, the form does not look like that blue form. The blue form that we see in here. I had a nicer form, a green form, and so on. How do I create that form? That's what we are going to do after answering the question. What is the question?
One question was about version control, but I think you covered that with the download of the app and then upload again.
Yeah,
but
so we do not have automatic storage of versions at the moment. It's something on the roadmap, but it's not available yet. So if you want to keep static copies of the data, the statuses of your data, the status of your data at a certain moment in time, you can download copies just to have the data available at that time. Version control, not yet. So we don't have a feature that allows that at the moment.
What about the browser? Is there a specific browser recommended for Sheetcast, or any browser?
Most browsers would work. Chromium-based browsers, Edge, Google Chrome, Safari, all those should work.
And Firefox.
Firefox as well, yes.
Yes.
What else? Can you use RSS feeds as your data source? I don't think so. I never heard of that.
Can you download it in a CSV format, Eddie?
You can import. So in here, when we go and add a page, we have import CSV. So if you have data that is already cleaned up in rows and columns, it does not need to be CSV. It can be an Excel file as well. XLSX format is also accepted. We can create a page that is about the user importing data, and then we can create a way of transferring that data over to a master table, for example. We do that in our fundamentals workshop. In day 3, we have an exercise that covers that. We also have import sheets safely that we do in workshop 201, I think. It's about, let's say you have, I'm going to use the timesheets example again. Let's say you created a template, and you, in that template and using Sheetcast, you will say exactly what is that users can change, which cells they can enter data, can they change format or not, can they change formulas or not. So you define all that. And then when they, let's say they submit a file into a folder, and then at the end there's someone that will come and will import all those files with these import sheets safely. It will check if those files were altered in a way that was not allowed by what you set up. So that's more powerful than this one because it checks what can be changed and what is not allowed to be changed. And we can import data with, I'm going to take the opportunity to talk about it. I talked about API pages where we can import data from outside the app. We can extract the data from the app, but we can also import data with Power Query from other sources into the app. For that, we will have to use something that we have here called external data sources. Oh, I should have not clicked that, because what it will do is it will create a Fabric account for me with a username, a password. It's a free Fabric account. You don't have to pay for the account or for the usage that you will do with the account, at least not for now. It's not being charged in any way. And then following a number of steps that are available here that we are not covering today, I don't have time for that, we can create a data flow using our Fabric account that imports data from maybe a database or somewhere else and bring that data into your app. So if that's something that would be interesting for you to have on your app, you can also do that. And then that flow will be running on a scheduled basis. So you can say, run this every morning, and every morning, whatever is in that external source will be updated. The data will be updated on your file. Okay. More questions?
Yes, one more
Search for cards. We can build the search functionality. If we had time, we would go there today, but I'm seeing the time flying by, but we'll see. But there's a way so to create a search functionality, you do that by adding a page and slicer and filter and slicer page. And then in here, you say which what's the data source that is connected to the data that you want to filter. In this case, I would say the table. So if I wanted to create a filter for this data. Okay, what else? I think that's all for now. Okay, so let me just show you those little things that extra that we add in our app. We saw that form on the web. Just putting a note here about the bug. Not sure what's going on there. I don't like this form. First, I don't like to see these fields here that are calculated. I don't want to see them in my form, so I would like them gone. Second, I would like the design to be a little bit different. Oh, okay. So how do we fix that? One thing that you can do is, if you hide the columns that you don't want to see, I just group those columns with data group functionality, upload changes. When I come here and refresh, you see my form no longer considers those columns. So that's one thing that you can do. For the design, I can create this layout on my Excel workbook and then change it the way I like it. So to do that, on my Add Excel Lover, which is my insert page, I can come to the More tab and say Insert Template None. It's none at the moment. If I click here and say Auto Create New, do you want to save and whatnot? Yes. And you see it goes ahead, and there's another bug here. This one is creating two layouts. Not sure why. Should create just one. Third page. So I'm just going to delete this one. Ignore that it was created. And it created this page that does not, column A and B did not go well. I'm going to delete again and repeat it. This happened because I have my columns grouped. And when I create my items with my columns grouped, it does not like it. So let me just ungroup my columns here. There. And do this again. I always forget to ungroup my columns. So again, if I want to create a form that looks a different way, I can start with coming here, insert template, and say auto create new. It's going to create those two templates, the two worksheets. I don't know why. That's a bug there. And there's something is not right there. So let me just delete here. Okay. Load changes because I was adding and deleting row of worksheets. Okay. You see here it's saying that the template for the insert page is sheet add Excel lover layout 2 is this worksheet. And this worksheet was created based on all the columns. You will see certain formulas here, cast column value and cast source name. It could be cast column name as well. So there are these four magical formulas, especially two magical formulas that are cast form value. Let me make this bigger, just so you see the formula names, and then I'll explain what they do. What time is it? Okay. Cast source value, and we have cast column value. These two functions, they are basically the same, and what they do is they capture the name of the field from the data table. So they capture the name of the field. Then we have sorry, I'm saying the other way around. What capture the names of the field is cast source name, and cast column name. These two functions capture the name of the column. Then we have cast source value and cast column value. These two functions, what they do is they capture the values from the column. And I say they are pretty magical because these functions do different things depending on where we use them. If I use them on a form like we are using now, the function goes, oh, I am in a form that is supposed to insert data. So whatever column I indicate for this function, because then here I will have to indicate a column as a parameter, I know that I'm supposed to add a record in that, add this value in that column. The difference between source and column is that if I use cast column value in a form, it will make the field editable. If I use cast source value, it will just display the value if there is a value to display and will not allow me to edit. If I use these functions on a form that is used to see data that was already entered, not an insert form to add records, a form that is used to see data that is already in the table, then it works like a lookup function. Oh, I need to capture the value for this record, this field. If I use these functions on a filter, on a page like the one we were discussing before, the filter and slicer page, because it's on that type of page, this function will work as a filter. So these functions can do multiple things. What you need to know is that source value does not make the field editable, just displays the value. Cast column value makes the field editable. I can show you that in a minute. So for example, in here, just if I was going to build my form from here, I would probably align everything to the top. Alignment came from the table. I would say this is not needed. Just going to do some changes here. then name, country, city, and then maybe I want to see these on a separate place. Maybe I want to see them there. So now you can change your layout the way you want. Okay. If showing you the cast source column value, the editable and not editable in this case will not be a good scenario. Later, if I have the chance, I will show you that. But what we will see now is if I go to the web and you see my form now changed according to what I put in my my worksheet. Because I move things around, it shows the way I changed it. So now I could change the colors, I could change the position, I could do whatever I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this layout that I already created here. I put in some extra text. I put in a formula that says join the existing, how many data rows we have, Excel lovers. Instead, in here, I have name, and I'm capturing this with the function cast source name, but I don't have to. I just have to have this one that reads the fields, the value that the user is going to enter. I have to have that with a formula. But to display a column name, for example, I could say enter your name. This will still work. Okay. So what I did here is I kept the ones that have column value, the ones that will become the fields for people to enter value, enter information. And then I added some text. Country, I put in an asterisk to say it's mandatory and whatnot. There's ways of making the fields mandatory. We will talk about it. So if I want, let's say I started with this and I moved things around, I changed colors, fonts, and all that, and I ended up with this. So I can come here and say, insert template is pointing to sheet, add Excel level layout 2. I'm going to say point to sheet, add layout. So under entire sheets, I can say add layout. Okay. So with that, if now I see, when I click the I button, it saves and goes to the browser, one thing after the other. You see now the Add Excel Lover form now has the form that I have there. If I want to make sure that it captures this thing, so it's not capturing everything because it only cares about formulas with data, I can change this to range of cells and say, select the range I want and click this button to bring in the cell address. And now my form should have this extra green around the fields. So now it has. So if I put in some information here, Australia, say Sydney, and just that, save, it's probably going to complain validation errors. Yes, so by default, it set up everything as required. So if I say, I don't know provinces so I'm just going to put something here. I don't know the province, if there is a province or a state or something like that for Sydney. Your favorite thing, let's say data validation is my favorite thing in Excel. And my favorite color is blue. Save. How do I fix the fields that I don't want them to be mandatory? In my form, insert page, more tab. If I come here, it's set up by default, everything as required, except the ones that have formulas. But I can say the color is not required, the favorite Excel thing is not required, and the province is not required. Just leave those three required because they are important for the PIN. And the name even, I could make it not mandatory. So if I save from here, I could also use data validation rules. to make certain fields mandatory. And I would apply those data validation rules to the columns of my table. So if now I say Anna and let's say France, and then Paris, and I don't put anything else and do save, now it accepted the value, and the value is in there. There we have. And because I did not choose a color, it defaults to black. Okay. So as you can see, we can have all these different functionality. We can create forms. We can connect the forms to our data. In this case, the data is being displayed as a map, but it could be displayed as a table. It could be displayed as a calendar. It could be displayed as cards, that like the ones we saw at the beginning. What else I just wanted to add here? I can hide this worksheet. We don't need it anymore, or even delete it. In here, in the starting file, I have a function here. I have, this one is just counting the rows. It says this many Excel lovers on the map. And then in here, I have another Sheetcast function. And this function creates buttons on the web. This function, I just find it fascinating as well. So what is this doing? I have an error here that I need to fix, because this is pointing to a page, and this page did not exist when we started with our Excel file. So I can start. My phone is ringing, just a second. Okay. Oh, I need to switch this because otherwise it will ring again in 5 minutes. Okay. Let's create a button. That's the button that we saw on the app at the beginning, that we click the button and it would go to the form. So on the web, we currently have one page with a map and one page with the form. But in the demo that I showed you at the beginning, we had everything together. Well, I did not have the form. Excuse me, I did not have the form. I had a button above my map, and when I click the button, it would bring me to the form. Okay, I can take this title out of here as well later if I don't forget. How can I create that button? So I'm going to just copy this, add Excel lover, because I'm very bad at typing, and then do go to page. So how do I create the button? Equal cast button. We also have cast blank. It's useful for other situations. Cast button, and then the first parameter is what is it that we want the button to say? And I want it to say add new Excel lover, comma. And then after that, we can create actions. And in VBA, a VBA code usually runs in sequence of the actions we put in there, or the code that we put in there. When we create a button and we put in actions, it acts a little bit like running a macro. It goes and runs through all the actions in the order that they appear in the different parameters in the button, and executes those actions. So if I say do go to page, which is also another function by Sheetcast, what this does, as the name says, is it will send the user to a certain page. So I can say do go to page, and then I can say the page is the page add Excel lover, right? To call in the name of the page that is in here, we use a hidden table called cast pages. So just type in cast pages, and you will see that a cast pages table will appear. And then open square brackets, and each column of this table is the name of a page. We only have these 2 pages. So I want to send the users to add Excel lover page. I can, oh, did not grab it. Tab, okay. Close do go to page, close cast button. So this function here, now when I load on the web, it will show the button. But before I load it to the web, before I am able to be able to see it on the web, I need to have this button on a page. And at the moment, I only have a map page that is looking at the table only. It does not include that cell. And the insert page is looking at the table also, and it's looking at the layout here. It does not care about that cell with, let me go back. It does not care about that cell with the button. So I need to create another page to display this button. So add page, and I'm going to choose a report page. A report page is just a page that displays information in a static way. It does not have any special interactivity. I can say this is the header page, and the source, I want it to be this cell, this range here. Range of cells, copy the address, and see online. It has the header there that we need to turn off the title. If we click the button, it goes to the page Add Excel Lover, the same way we program the button to behave. So in the report page, more, show page title, no, save that. On the form, I don't want to see the title either. We should get this checked off by default. That would be my preference, but it's not what we get at the moment. And on the map as well, we can also turn off the show page title. Then if we want to put things on top of each other, I want to put the header on top of the map, right? That's what we saw at the beginning. So how do I do that? I can have a new page called layout container. So we can build pages and then put pages together to appear like they were one unique page. How many columns I want? I just want one column. And then at the top, I want the header page. And then at the bottom, I want the map page. Okay. So, and in here, I'm going to call it, how did I call it? I call it map of Excel lovers. I think I called it map of Excel lovers. Okay. So here is our page now that has the button and has the map. And if I click the button, it will go to the form. So if it does that, I don't need to have a page for the form. I can hide this page. Okay, let's do that. I'm going to change the range just to also include, so let me load changes. Going to take the name out of here. Okay, save. And on my header page, I'm going to include one extra row, just so that the button does not show together with a stick to the table. So I'm going to include row 4 here. Okay, save. And now if I want to make certain pages disappear from my menu, what we can do is to add a menu page. And from here, I can say, I just want to add to see the map of Excel lovers there. And that's it. I don't want to see, what were the other ones? Let me go back. Add Excel lover, it shows up when we, these 2 pages are included in this one. And this one is the form. It's the one that we just want to see. When we click the button, it will go there. So we can keep just this one on the menu. Load changes and view app online. And there we go. So now we have the application similar to what we had at the beginning. Now, if I wanted to share this with you, let's say I'm in here, I have this URL. If I come to an incognito window or in private window just to simulate that I am not logged into my account, it will not let me enter the application because I did not share it publicly. I did not share it with any user other than myself. Only me now at the moment has access to the app. How do I make it public? Did I show that today already or not? I'm confused. Did I show anything about? I have not?
No.
Okay. So how do I make a page public? I need to make all the pages public. Well, I need to make the layout container public. So in here, right-click share and click share and click public access. This will make this page available publicly, but you could also, instead of that, enter people's emails. These need to be the email addresses they use to create their accounts. So you can create applications with whoever you want, share the applications with whoever you want. You just need to have their email address for their Sheetcast account. They don't need to be in your organization. So you can create applications that work very well among different people from different organizations, okay? Or with your clients external to your organization. You could require a password as well if you want to. So I'm just going to share the page here. And at the moment, this is changing just the access credentials on the web ends. So I don't know anything about web development and how much work it would take to make these type of changes. But what Sheetcast does is it takes care of all the web development work for us.
So before you shared publicly, somebody else could still have access to the application if they had the link, which is what you did earlier. You shared the link in the chat with us and we were able to see the map, right?
You were able to see it because the pages were already shared as public.
That was the first application, the demo, not the one that you just built.
Yeah.
I understand.
So now I'm making this one useful, be able to be used that same way. So I need to save here. So I need to make public all the pages that public users will need to interact with. They will need to interact with the map of Excel lovers, which is the container that contains all the other two pages. So I believe we will test. If I make this public, I don't need to make the other two public because they are inside the container. They need to be able to see the insert page, which is the form. So I need to also make this public. So share, public access, share page. And we offer the possibility of creating logins, adding new users and things like that. I will not have the time to show you. I have 3 more things that I wanted to show you, but I always prefer to show in a way of explain how things are built and why things work, instead of just saying click here, click there, and not explaining what is happening. So the menu page also needs to be shared as public, because otherwise they will not see it. They will see the previous standard menu that was appearing at the beginning. Okay, and we are almost there. Also, if you have more pages here on your menu page, and some of these pages are public and others are not public, when a public user goes to the app, the menu will only display for them the pages that are public. And if a user that has access to the app logs in, they will be able to see all the other pages on their menu. So menu takes care of whatever shows for the user depending on the different level, access level they have. Not sure if I clicked save. Okay, so this should work now. Let's see. So if I copy this URL, you see I only see map of Excel levels. That's the only thing there to show anyways. And if I go to an incognito window where I don't have an account, I have access to the page. It's complaining that the app is checked out because the workbook is open. So I would have to close the workbook. And if I would share this with you on the chat, you would be able to add information to it again. Okay, if I close it, you should be able to add new pins to that page, to that app. So this was my first example. I add two more important, I have three more, but two of them should be quick to show. How much time do we have? Not much. We have 5 minutes. Well, it's not a hard stop, but I don't want to take much more of your time. I'm going to show you a calculator, how you can make a calculator available on the web. And then I will show you that we have Copilot function available for you guys for free if you want to create applications with AI. So these are the two things I'm going to show you. If are there any questions? And the files will be shared. Yes, the files will be shared. Some people needed to leave. That's fine.
Yes.
Okay.
We had a question from Eddie asking how long this will be free. I'm not sure exactly what he's referring to.
So the access to Sheetcast, if you go to sheetcast.com and pricing, you will see that we have two different ways of pricing. One is per user, which is the most common, and then there's per column. I would rather not discuss this today because it's not so simple, but let's talk about users, which is the most common. You can have up to 5 users, including yourself as the builder. If you need to share the app with different users, just those people to access the app, you can have up to 5 users for free. And then once you move to 6, you start paying 12 per user, including the first 5. And this is per month. And this is US dollars. So Canadian dollars would be about maybe $16. Other than that, it's free. So it's free and you can use it. You can build apps. You can start building. You don't have to, there's no, that I know of, there's no plans to change the pricing plan at the moment or anytime soon. Do you want to see the calculator?
Yes.
How thank you. Yeah, I trained you well.
Annette has a question.
Yes. Show the Daniel says yes. Okay. Let's say we have a calculator. And I did not create this calculator. I just went to File, New, and then searched for loan calculators here. And I'm using one of the templates that I got from there. Okay. So home, that's what I want to do. I want to open a new file. Does that make sense, what I explained? Or was it, or does it sound too confusing? I know the concept of creating web applications is not very common from Excel. This pricing is for builders who will modify the app or for the persons who will be using the final app. Good question. So this price is for builders. If you ask the Sheetcast team to build the app for you, then you pay for all the users. If you have a client and you are building an application for your client, we bill you as the builder the price that you saw, and you can charge your client how much you want for user. So if you want to charge them $100 per month per user, you can. We have nothing to do with that. We will applaud you, and we will be happy that you will be making money with it. And this is a way of ensuring that when you create a solution for a client, they keep paying you for as long as they are using the app, which is something that Excel consultants know well. It's difficult to enforce. So once the client has the app or the file on their end, a regular Excel file, so not a web application, the file is on their end, so they can just stop paying you. So usually the consultant ends up billing per hour or billing a price, establishing a price for the project and charging that price, and it's a one-time bill, one-time fee. With something like this, you can charge for the development, and then you can charge a monthly fee for as long as they are using the app, which is nice because then you can get some recurring income every month, having something extra for the work that you've done. Francisco says he's leaving because he's in Portugal. Thank you, Francisco, for coming. It's midnight there, I know. Thank you for coming. Does that answer the question about pricing, Lina? Okay. I'm just going to open this calculator here. Yes, thank you. You're welcome. Okay, this is a calculator. Like I said, I just got it from the templates area. It's a calculator that calculates monthly payments and total costs for a car based on the parameters that we have here. It's interesting because the formulas that return the result, they are not even here. The formulas are in the name manager as a name. So total cost, where is it? Here, has the formula there, which is a way of working. It makes your formula a little bit more protected. But with Sheetcast, you don't have to worry about it. You could have your formula here, and then when you publish the calculator, the formulas are not visible, as we've seen already. How can I make this calculator available on the web so that people can use it? Maybe I have this brilliant calculator from my engineering field, from my financial field, and I want to make the calculator available. This is also, if it's something that people would pay for, again, you could make money out of it. You can publish the calculator on the web and just give the link or access to users who pay you. So you can, there's multiple ways of setting that up depending on how you want to share it. But you can put your application behind the paywall and get a fee for those who are wanting to use your calculator. This calculator is not registering what people are inputting on the cells. So it's a calculator where they come in, they put in some values, and whatever they put in here, the result will be displayed. When they are on the browser and close it, it's gone. So we don't know what they entered, and they also don't have records of that, and unless they saved the print screen or something. There is a way that we are not talking about it today of making it so that every time, let's say you have a calculator for a quote of your products and services, you can make it so that every time someone comes and simulates a quote, you can ask them for their contact information and register what they were looking for, their contact information, and then reach out to them and see if you can make the sale. For that to happen, the calculator, the app would have to be created a different way than the way I'm going to show now, okay? If it's just about publishing a calculator on the web, what we can do is something like this: is come here, click the button to add a new app, just going to put loan calculator, upload. And this time I'm going to choose a solo form page. A solo form page is the most similar thing to seeing an Excel spreadsheet. I will say, show this spreadsheet, and then I just need to say which cells can be edited. So I'm going to say the source is a range of cells, and it is this range of cells here. Copy the address, and then enable cells mode, editable cells mode. I want to say color matching, and all the cells that have a color that coincides with the color of this cell, I click here to bring the address. All the cells with the same color of E7 can be edited. I could also change that to specific cells and then indicate which cells I want to authorize to be edited. Okay, click Save. And now my application, my calculator, is posted on the web. Now, again, my calculator is only available for myself. I need to make it public if I want it to be available to public users. In the More tab, I'm going to take out a title. I can look for icons here and say calculator. And I can find any icon here. All these icons are free to use. Okay, they will show on the app. Now, to make this public, I need to come here to share, and again, do the same thing that we've done before. I'm sharing everything public today because it's just a simpler example, but we could share with certain individuals. And there's one more thing. The page will be public, but if I share it just like that, everyone will be using the same app. Let's test that. I'm going to put in the chat this link here. And I want you to try to use the calculator. Well, for one, I should have cleaned up my calculator. I should have not put it with data there, right? I should have cleaned my calculator here and should have published it. I need to close my workbook for you to be able to use it. The link will be the same. The link does not change. So let me close my workbook because otherwise it will say that it's checked out. If you try to use the application, I'm going to do that here. Can you please try and enter something there? Anyone, any of you?
I am trying now.
Okay, if I go and refresh, nothing happens. It should, well, maybe you did not click save yet.
I just did.
Okay, if I go and refresh, I will see someone else's input. So that's not good. For this scenario, it's not good. In another scenario, I could want that. I could want that multiple people enter in the spreadsheet and we could see someone else's input. But in this case, I don't want that. So if that 200% interest rate, that's a hell of an interest rate. I know it's because we need to put 0.02.
So when you click save, is there any data saved back into your Excel or on Sheetcast or not? And why not? Like,
because it's not, the solo form is not set up for that. If I wanted to register the data on a table, I would have to use an insert page like we used for the map application that then communicates the information to a table. But so then I would have to, different pages, different functionality. In this case, and there's another way of doing it as well, that it's a more advanced thing. But anyways, in this case, what I need to do besides making it public is come to more, not for a page, is when I am here in the list of apps and I click the app that I'm working on and come to this More tab here, under entire app setting, if I click here, private demo, I'm not going to read this, but what it's saying is if I put it here, each person will have their own separate Excel, web instance, web session, okay? So
meaning we're not going to see the data each other.
Correct. So why I still have this open? Oh, I'm editing the wrong app. Yes, I'm editing the wrong app. Let me close this. I didn't mean to do that. I want to edit the loan calculator. That's the one I want to edit. So more entire settings, change this to private demo, save. My app is still clean, which again should not work like that. Then unless they change their mind and now it's working a different way. I'm not sure. The data should have come in here, but that's something for me to discuss tomorrow with the team and see what's happening. So if I publish now, loan calculator, view app online, you see that now I get this little thing at the end, question mark, session ID, this number. So it makes it so if I share, if you go to the same link that it's on the chat, you will get a different number from mine, meaning you have a different session. And if you type in something here, interest rate 0.05 and length, let's say 36 months. These cells do not calculate unless you click save, but once you click save, then you have your result. And again, your formulas are protected and it's a way of putting something on the web very easily. If you have tried to do this with Excel Online, it's kind of a nightmare. It never works so well. Has a lot of challenges there. So that's app number 2. And then in 2 minutes, I'm going to show you the AI function, unless there are questions about this one. And then we are done.
I have one question.
Sure.
What version of Excel is required for a builder?
Any Excel 2016 and over, but it works best with Microsoft 365, of course. Excel for Mac, Excel for the web are not supported. So it needs to be Excel for Windows. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Right. And
so,
Lina has another question.
Sure. Yes.
She mentions the final app in the free version has commercial license.
No. So the app belongs to you. You can charge whatever you want to your clients or to the people who you are making the app available to. Is that what you are asking in terms of commercial license? If that's what you're asking, that's the answer. For example, a cost craft calculator, I'm not interested in keeping the user data, then I will have to delete this data frequently. No. So if you build it, if you are not interested in the user's data, you can build it, you can watch the video later, build it exactly as I built it, and you have a calculator that anyone can use, and it will not store their data. If you need to record the data, then you need to build the app a different way. It would not be with a solo form page that we used for this one. Yeah, and we do have an exercise like that on the workshop. We have a starting. We currently are not teaching it, but we have the starting file and all the instructions to teach you how you can create a calculator that stores the data that you can then go back to that data and do some analysis on it, for example. You're welcome, Lina. Okay, so, excuse me. We do have Copilot now. If you have Sheetcast, you will have a function equivalent to Copilot, the Copilot function. Equal Copilot. Copilot. 3 functions show up. They all do the same at the moment. They are being developed to have them using different models and doing different things. For the moment, just go with COPILOTALT, and let's say create a list of 10 fruit names, for example. And you get this. Workbook must be saved as an app before using the AI tools. That's the only requirement we ask, is that you create an app, or you at least upload the workbook with this function. So this function will not be available on files saved on your local machine. They will need to be uploaded as an app. That's the only thing. So let's put here AI test. Upload. Are we getting there or what? It's quitting on me. Upload. No? Does not want to upload. Well, if it would upload, let me try again.
Do you need to have a page, at least one page?
No, so first we upload and then we create the page.
Oh, okay.
So after clicking upload, it should bring me the button to choose the page. I'm not sure why it's not. So upload is not happening. Is it because of the AI function? It should not be. I don't know. With AI function. So if this was working as it was a couple of hours ago, when you click upload, you can choose any page, a report page or whatever page, and then the function will calculate. I will show you something that should be working on the web. Let's see if this is working using an AI function. And then you can use it the same way you use Copilot. You may have seen some videos about the Copilot function. So for example, if you don't want to say 10 fruits and you just want to say create a list of fruit names in total of, and then you may want to have the 10 on another cell, for example, here. You can do that. And then in here, if you put 10, it should create a list of 10. If you put 5, it should create a list of 5, and so on. But I don't know why this is failing on me now. Let's not cry over that. Let's just see if this is opening. Okay, so here's an example of an app that is public. I'm not signed in here. You can use it. You can play with it. Let me put it in the chat. And that's the last thing I'm showing. Then we can finish the session. This is meant to create a road trip itinerary. We can enter province, and we also have states. So I have North America locations here. So let's say from Toronto, province, Ontario, starting today, spending 2 days in Toronto visiting, and then I want to go to New York. In New York. Is it not? What's the state for New York? Is it not here, New York? Ending date, let's say a week from today, and I want to spend 3 days in New York, and the rest is for my way, and I want to do some activities on the way. And I can say round trip or one way, for example, one way, save. Let's see what it comes up with for us. So the other app that I had in mind to show you today was an application where we would have a table with data. We could set different ways of managing that data, just seeing the data or editing the data, and with the cards that I showed you in the beginning. But I can show you, if someone is interested, very quickly where you can set up the cards. So there we go. Now we have a trip of 8 days, and we have suggestions of what to explore in Toronto. Then they are suggesting we go through Niagara Falls and spend a day there, Finger Lakes to Albany, and so on. And then 3 days in New York City here with different activities to do there. So this is just one example of how we can take advantage of a function like COPILOTALT from Sheetcast and create an application. This was made with a solo form here, solo form page, and a report page. And the report page points to a certain range in my data. In my workbook, the solo form points to the other range I have. And my copilot function will be somewhere here in this cell on my workbook and says create road trip that starts in, and then I point to here concatenated with here. And starting on this date, and then I point to this cell. Then another parameter, spending these many days on that origin location, and so on and so on. So we build the prompt, and then it gets the result for us here on the web. That's it. The data for the trip is generated and not stored. Yes, this is just generated and not stored. Similar to the calculator, because I am using a solo form page. If I was using an insert page, I could store these parameters on a table and then store the text, provided that the length of the text is accepted by Excel on a certain cell, and put the text there as well.
But you could also maybe email it to yourself, have a button that sends it an email, or
yes, we can create. See if I have it here. We can create. I'm going to show you. Let's see if I have another example here. So for example, quoting tool with database, this one is the calculator with the table. So it has a calculator here that is created with a form, but also has some formulas calculating there. And it says, put in how many days you want to rent equipment, let's say 2 days, a laptop, and a service for 1 unit of software installation. It gives me the date, and I need to put in my names of testing and celia@email.com. I need to put in at least an @ and a period, because otherwise it will say that this is not the proper email address. And I did that with data validation. I have a button. When I click this button, it goes ahead and registers the data on the table. And it also gives me a quote ID number. And while I'm here, I can make changes to my quote. I can recalculate, keep on the same quote ID. I'm still on quote number 18. I still have the data. Now it's not editable, you see? Before it was editable, so I was on a page that had cast column value. Now it seems the same page, but it's actually a different page, and it has cast source value, and it's not letting me change these anymore. I did it like that, but I could have done it a different way. Anyways, and now when I do print PDF, I can see a pop-up showing with my quote in here that I could use the print or save as a PDF. I could do that. And at the same time, if I go to, I'm not logged in. Let's see. Sign out. Enter with email. I need to be logged in with my other account. This shows you that this is secure because I was using a specific account for today's demonstration, and that account has nothing to do with this app. So if I go back to my quoting tool with database, now I see more pages here because this account is the owner of this app. And if I go to quotes, I should be able to see quote 18 here. See? And if I click on it, I can see the form and I can navigate through different quotes. So quote 17, quote 16. We can do that. I wish I could have had time to show you all these in just one day, just one little over. Just pode deixar aí agora, se faz favor. Pode deixar aí. Já vou buscar. Thank you. Sorry. And we also have prices here. So myself, as the administrator of this app, I would have access to this page, and I could come here and create a new product or a new service. And when I do that and I save, they would become available on the get quote. So I have the new product that I created at some point to demonstrate. If I go back and delete, then next time someone comes in, they no longer have that new product there. Same thing for services. So this is a tab container. Instead of containing pages on top of each other, I could contain them on tabs. The same thing you saw on the Perks app at the beginning today. And then we have API pages. So I can expose some data. If I wanted to expose this data through an API, I have the information here of how to access that data. If you want to try later with Power Query, access this link here, you should be able to import that data. That's fine because this is just a demo application. You can do that. This one requires an API key. No, sorry, the one you should use is this one, API no key. So this link does not require an API key, so it's public. If we were going through this page, then it requires an API key. So there's a lot of things that we can use. I don't have time to show you access by row, but what access by row does is I can set an application so that I can only see the data that has my name. So for example, in this case, the table has more data, but I can only see the data that has my name, which is something very important for many scenarios. You can have a form collecting sales information, for example, from multiple sales reps, and then have an app that each one of them logs in and they will only be able to see their data there. They will not be able to see someone else's data. And you could create a report based on, if you create it in a certain way, they will be able to see only their results.
Is that based on their email address that they used in the Sheetcast account?
Yes.
Is that
yes.
to match what's in the data, the same email address?
Yes, so this is based on if we use a function called cast user email. So now it's probably going to say that I'm logged out because I logged in the other account. But on a page that displays my data, I have filters and I can say, show me only the rows that coincide with cast user email address. And that way, only the rows corresponding to the user that is logged in at that moment will be shown to that user. We teach all these on the workshop. If you are interested in this, just come and if you have the time to make it to come and learn with us, you will learn things in more detail. That's it. Any more questions?
Is it possible to quickly see the file with the
For
trip,
the trip.
the COPILOTALT?
Let's see if I can. Let's see if I can show it. Log out. I need to log in into the other account where I built that app. Just a second. Have to drop. Thank you, Beck. Thank you, everyone, and for staying longer. Eric is recommending the workshops. Oh, you're here, Eric. I had not noticed you were here. Eric has attended a couple of our workshops, and he's very excited about everything that he's been learning. It's giving me a hard time here. I don't know why. Let's see if I can close this. I guess that bug that happened when I was not able to, oh, it's not this, Control, Alt, and let me kill this. Just so I can show the app with the AI function. Okay, you log in again. Are the workshops online? Yes, workshops are live online. Usually starting around 9 a.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Toronto, New York time. And the fundamentals workshop is 12 hours, 3 days of 4 hours each. And then the other workshops are about 2 days each, 4 hours each time. They are for free, so take advantage. And then as a student, you also get privileged support for if you are building your applications and you don't know, if you don't know which apps you want to build or how to build a certain thing that you want to build, you can access to our team and have privileged help for your particular scenario.
I've also posted the Sheetcast examples, the Sheetcast website, some live examples.
Thank you. And on the workbook that I'm going to show you, to send you with the files, you have some more information here. And then at the end, it has information about the workshops. It has information about, it has the presentation I gave to the Global Excel Summit last year. It has an application with all the functions, except this new function. I think we didn't put it. I didn't put it there. I need to update the library function, the function library, and instructions on how to export and import an app. So you will receive finalized apps with the exercises, and then how you can import that app to your end. It explains there. It's very easy as well. So just to see if I can show you the app that is the trip simulator, road trip simulator. Let me see if I can sort this by name. There. So this is the file that has the Copilot function, COPILOTALT. This is the prompt that is using all those cells. Please fill in all the blue cells. If the count of these cells is different than 9, meaning someone did not populate everything, it will show please fill in all the blue cells. Otherwise, it will say COPILOTALT create itinerary for a road trip starting from C3 concatenated with C5, which is the origin location, with destination, and then this destination. For your suggestion, consider the season of the year, knowing that the starting date for the trip is in D7, and ending date is in D17, and so on and so on. So I'm explaining, and then I applied a to-call function here because when it has multiple suggestions, it spills across the columns, and I just wanted to see everything in one column. So I put in to-call to make sure that the results flow into one unique column, and then we always know on the web what we always know that all the results will be in column I. And from here, we have this page is a solo form. It's using this range from A1 to G something, to G22. Then we have the road trip itinerary. It's a report page, and it's using this column as the source, column I. And then we have a layout container that contains the two pages side by side. Remember that we were seeing this form on the left and we were seeing the results on the right? That's the two pages put together side by side. And then the menu page just shows, it's in here, just shows one unique, that's the container that it shows. And then I was creating a printable container page, but I didn't finish. So the idea is to have that button that then prints the application. I still need to finish that. Okay. I'm glad that you have all the questions. Anything else? Thank you, Lena. I'm glad that you liked it.
That was a fantastic presentation, and I love the examples. It's a great product. I'm a software developer, but definitely I cannot do 3 clicks and develop and post publicly an application in 5 minutes. I mean, that's the big advantage here.
If you think about it, you have the domain taken care of, you have the hosting taken care of, you have the deployment taken care of, and you have all the web development work taken care of. Our company is, the parent company is, I'm switching to my other camera here. The parent company is Pleasant Solutions. They have been building custom software for many years, and they do know the value of the work that is needed to create an application, a web application from scratch. And this idea, the owner of the company invented Sheetcast, and the idea was we have a bunch of clients that are small and medium companies that they still need custom solutions, custom software for their businesses, but they don't have the budget to pay for that type of custom software. And companies end up paying subscriptions of this, subscriptions of that, sometimes paying for huge pieces of software that does much more than what they need, but they don't have something that does exactly what they need. And with this, we can address what your clients need and build something that does exactly that. And it costs them a fraction, a very small fraction compared to what it would cost if they were hiring a software developer, building something from scratch, coding everything. Okay. Of course, these days we have AI that helps a lot with coding, but still, the knowledge of an AI of a software developer and the cost of a software developer is usually much higher than an Excel developer, but we can still provide the same value. All right. Any other questions? No more questions? Everything good? Let's see here in the chat. One of the main challenges for small businesses is hosting costs. Yes, and everything adds up, right? It's hosting, is the domain you need to pay every year, is the SSL certificate, and making sure that everything is updated. If you have, anyways, anything needs to be running properly. and paid for on time, because otherwise it will be cut. And then maybe you need a little bit of a CRM, and then need a little bit of an invoicing app, and you end up paying 2 subscriptions just to use a little bit of just a few features from each one of the platforms, when you could just pay for one unique subscription that does everything, if the solution is properly developed. This will solve it. Yes, Lina. Yes. Okay. Any other questions or comments? I'm glad that you found it interesting, and that Fernando says, thank you, Celia. So useful to create new tools to work more efficiently. Yes, and I just showed a little bit. I wanted to show you, I had a to-do application that I use for myself that uses the cards to add new tasks that deals with recurring events. So yeah, you can do many different things. Okay, if there's not more questions, and I think we can end our session here. It went quite longer than programmed, but that's okay. That's why I never have a hard stop for these sessions. It was a great pleasure to be here with you. I had been promising this presentation about Sheetcast for a long time. I hope you liked it. I hope you take advantage. I hope to see some of you on the workshops if you feel so inclined to do and to come. It would be great. And that's it. Have a good night, everyone, or a good day, depending on where you are. And we'll see you soon. Feel free to come next time for session about cell styles and office themes. It will be great.
Thank you, Celia. Thank you, everybody, for participating. See you next time.
Bye-bye.